Picnic table has been in Grounded for as long as I can remember, but up until now there wasn't much over there, except the beehive. That all changed in the Hot and Hazy update. Now the picnic table has been fully populated, with other insects, a few landmarks, and some new additions to the game. In this video, I'll show you everything you need to know about the picnic table. Make sure to click the subscribe button below so you never miss any future Grounded videos. Let's get started. So before we begin, I want to cover what we're going to be seeing in the picnic table area. There's going to be a Picnic BURG.L Chip. There's going to be a Dogloaf Scab. There's going to be 3 different landmarks that we'll discover that will count towards your Natural Explorer mutation unlocks. There's going to be a zip line from the picnic table to the sandbox. There's going to be a total of 3 milk molars. We'll probably find a couple of salt shards. There's going to be some chewing gum. We're going to find some human food. There should be plenty of crow feathers. We'll probably encounter some black worker ants. And last but certainly not least, we should find at least one roly-poly wandering around outside of the picnic table. So first things first, we are over here on the western side of the map towards the middle of the backyard in this square here. It used to be a perfect square on the map. Now they've made it actually look like the picnic table. So this is the picnic table area. Real quick, what I'm going to do is show you the new insects that are out here. So there was a black ant that was just wandering around over here. Might have gotten away, but back here I'm pretty sure I just saw a roly-poly. So yeah, there's the roly-poly back there. And that guy's going to be tough to take down, so you want to make sure you have good armor, good weapons, and probably some healing items. There's also a soda can back here, but from what I've seen, it does not count as a landmark. I'll check it one more time. It didn't count as a landmark when I came back here before, so I don't believe it does. So this is not one of the 3 landmarks. So that's the roly-poly. There's also black ants, typically the worker ants that are wandering around, sometimes on the ground. I saw one on the ground, but the others are typically up on the table, so we'll get to them in a minute. You're also going to, of course, see the bees that are near the beehive. There's usually 1 or 2 bombardier beetles that are down by the leaning shovel, which we'll get to in just a second. And then I have seen down here by the water where we're going to go to get the key that we're going to need. I have seen a wolf spider wandering around here periodically. Not sure which one it is. So it could be the one that's from the walking path over there. It might be one from over by the sandbox. I'm not exactly sure, but that can be over here sometimes, especially at night. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the Minotaur key, which is down here inside of this broken pipe. So you're going to swim into this pipe. I don't believe there's anything down here to the left. We'll just check to make sure. So there's nothing down here to the left. What you're going to do when you come in this pipe is you're going to head down to the right, and there's going to be a crack in the bottom of it again. We're going to get our slime lantern out. We're going to swim down in this crack. Go back into this corner, and you're going to need a bone dagger or a spider fang dagger in order to chop up these soggy roots to grab the key that's behind there. And we're going to grab the key, and then we're going to head back out. Put our slime lantern away. Now we're going to head over to the leaning shovel. The leaning shovel is going to be the first of 3 landmarks that we're going to discover over here. And again, those count towards your Natural Explorer mutation. I actually discovered it when I walked past it a minute ago. So it's not going to pop up on the map, but I will show you that it does show on the map as a site. So here we go right here. If you see anything on the map, such as the baseball, or the leaning shovel here, if it's a site, it's going to count towards your Natural Explorer mutation. And typically the bombardier beetles are around the shovel. Don't see any right now. There's usually 1 or 2 wandering around here up towards the front. And then, of course, the bees are over there. So what we're going to have to do in order to get up to the picnic table is we're going to have to destroy this rock. So in the Hot and Hazy update, the devs added the ability for us to destroy rocks. So we're going to go into our inventory. We're going to equip ourselves a Brat Burst. And they gave us the ability to break cracked rock. So if a rock says cracked rock, you'll be able to know it'll have like a crack on here. There's plenty of them down in some caves and stuff like that. What you're going to do is you're going to drop the Brat Burst or Splat Burst. You're going to run away. It's going to blow up, and then the shovel is going to fall over, which is then going to give us the ability to get up on top of the picnic table. And as I'm walking up here, I just saw a bombardier beetle right down there. So the bombardier beetles are typically in the front here by the shovel. You could completely avoid them if you want to. When we get up here, we're going to walk off this edge right here onto here. And the first thing we're going to notice is banana peel. Do we have a crow feather in there? Yeah, so there's a crow feather in here. So there are typically 3 to 4 large crow feathers here. And if you get lucky, the crow might perch up top and you can get a small crow feather. So that's the first thing you would do, is grab the crow feather that's over there. We're going to head past this lunchbox because we cannot get into it right now without building. Up there, you're going to notice chewing gum, which is one of the new resources that was added to the game. We're not going to grab that one because you're going to have to build up to it. There's another one later on that we'll grab that's going to be much easier. In order to harvest that, you're going to need the tier 2 black ant shovel. And then you're going to notice down here, there's going to be a bunch of paper plates. And actually, here's our first black ant. So there's a black ant right here. That's the black worker ant. You're going to notice a bunch of paper plates on the picnic table. There's going to be food underneath them. So there's going to be human food. And then sometimes there's salt shards, which we'll grab if we see one. And then, of course, the juice boxes will drop juice for you to drink. What we're going to do is we're going to go down this spork and head across this beam over here to the other side. This is where most of the fun begins. Hop up on this rusty nail. And then we're going to hop up on this book. We're going to get out our hammer, our insect hammer, because we're going to need that to bang the cooler here. So as you can see, we discovered the cooler box. That's the second of 3 landmarks you're going to discover. You're going to hop up on this handle. We're going to walk up top here. Let's go check over here just to make sure. There used to be raw science over here, but apparently with the patch that they put in after the test server release, they took it out. And sometimes there's a crow feather down there. It might not be rendered in. I haven't noticed anything down here. One thing you're going to be mindful of when you're up here is between some of the boards, there's going to be a gap. So you want to make sure you don't fall between the gaps. And then let's just walk down here. There's nothing down here. So we're going to walk up top here. And the first thing you're going to notice is there's a bunch of paper plates. The paper plates can have salt shards in them, so let's go check to see if any of them do. Because that isn't one of the new resources that was added to the game. And you're going to notice there's a lot of black worker ants up here. This is probably a good place to farm black ant parts because there's no soldier ants up here, and there's usually not that many of them, so it should be much easier to take them down. They're going to be much harder to kill than the red worker ants. Cookie sandwich bit, apple bit, so no salt shards just yet. So this food here is definitely randomly spawned in. And actually, one thing real quick. I didn't notice there was one over here, because I'm probably going to forget to come back to the back of the table. See if there's any food down there. Yeah, there's an apple here. So there's a human food spawn down there, typically. And then you'll notice on these paper plates, there's random human food that is spawned in. Sometimes the little bits, sometimes it's actually a full piece. So in this case, there's a cookie up there. And what I was looking for mainly was to see if there's any salt shards in here. So I guess that's random. So there's the field station over there. That's going to be the third of 3 landmarks. Let's break this real quick. Okay, I just wanted to see if there was salt under there. So this stuff up here is definitely random because this is the second or third time I've come through here. And there has been different food on there. So here's our field station. Of course, you can analyze stuff. Back in here, we're going to see mac and bees. This is a new cooking recipe. You can get your bandages here. And of course, you can analyze stuff that you've just unlocked if you've unlocked it. And here's our zip line. This zip line is going to go down to the, all the way down to the sandbox. It's going to require 12 silk rope. So make sure you bring 12 silk rope with you if you want to intend to do that. And hopefully we can find some salt shards in here. Maybe we're going to get unlucky. Cookie bits, cookie bits. Back here is another crow feather spawn. This one's typically here. There's nothing in this can but the drink, and I don't even know if you can reach it. You're going to have to build over to it if you want to drink it. It's probably not worth it unless you're dehydrated. And back in here, underneath this, by this plastic knife, is going to be the one and only scab. So this is the dog loaf scab scheme. We can equip that real quick to show you what it looks like. I'm not a really big fan of this one. It's very, very bland in my opinion. So if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And then can we get up into here? This is a little bit tricky. You got to hit it from the right angle to get up in here. So unlucky that we didn't find any salt shards. That's interesting. So I've come up here a couple times, and what spawns on there is completely random. Once I found 2 salt shards. This time we found none. So we didn't find any salt shards. But there can be salt shards up here. But I have a video on the best place to find salt shards. So I'll leave a link for that down in the description below, since we didn't find any this time. Now what we're going to do is, last but not least, is we're going to come into this, while we're up here on the top, is we're going to come into this maze. What you're going to do is you're going to head over here to the left. Walk past this statue. There's another crow feather that drops back in there. We're going to come in this door. Let's just make sure there's nothing hiding back in here. No. We're going to go through this door, this main area. As far as I know, you can't interact with any of these statues. That'd be pretty cool if you could. Or they're not well, they look like statues because we're small, but they're actually pieces for a board game. And we're going to come inside of here, and we're going to use that key that we got from the cracked pipe. And what you're going to see is we got a gold or Mega Milk Molar, and we got the Picnic BURG.L Chip. When you take the Picnic BURG.L Chip back to BURG.L, it will unlock the ability to purchase the Milk Molar Scab Scanner, which is going to be super useful for finding milk molars. And it's also going to allow you to purchase the foodstuff sign set. So after we come out of there, we're going to head out this way. We're going to go back from the opposite direction, because there is one other thing in here that's worth looking at. I believe it's to this door. Somewhere back in here. It's not that way. It must be through the other door. So yeah, this chewed gum is always spawning here. And it should drop 1 or 2 pieces here. Unlucky. So that must be random, because that dropped one this time, 2 the time before, and sometimes it drops up to 3. So I guess it's 1 to 3 random. And what the chewing gum is used for, you can use it to make smoothies. It will make better smoothies than the beefy smoothies. It'll actually increase the duration of your smoothies by 2 times, so they'll last twice as long. And you can also use it to plug up the weed killer over in the haze area. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come down here. Now, I'm in creative, so it's not going to hurt me. But if you're not in creative, you're going to want to use a glider to fall down here. Here we have another milk molar, so we're going to break this one open. So this is a regular milk molar. The other was a mega. The difference between the two is going to be the milk molars allow you to upgrade your player stats, while the megas allow you to upgrade stack sizes for different things that benefit the entire group that's on in your save. And what we're going to do is we're going to fall down here. So we got one more place we went ahead, which is over here by the beehive. Once again, make sure you grab all those crow feathers while you're up here. So we are going to fall down here and get the 3rd and final milk molar. So one thing you might have also noticed, milk molars come in 2 forms. Sometimes they're inside of the vitamin and you have to crack it open. And if they're inside of a treasure chest, or if they're underwater, they will actually be dissolved. So similar to how we found the key that was down there, sometimes they're hidden behind soggy roots. You have to actually chop them out and get them. So if they're dissolved, you just go and pick them up. If they are inside the vitamin, which looks like a tooth, you're gonna have to crack it. So that's basically everything that's in the picnic table area. That's all the new resources except salt shards, which we unfortunately didn't see. But I have, like I said, I have a whole video on salt shards. So you can come up here every few days, and the food that's up here should probably have respawned if you've picked it all up. So there's a good chance you'll probably find 1 or 2 salt shards at some point. If not, you can head over to the sandbox, because that's where you're primarily going to find them. I have not seen spicy shards up here. I have not seen candy corn bits. Not sure if those can spawn up here, but it's definitely going to find human food as well as a chance to have salt shards. So just to recap, we found ourselves we found the picnic table BURG.L chip. We found the dog loaf scab. We found 3 milk molars. It was 1 milk molar and 2 mega milk molars. There were 3 landmarks: the leaning shovel, the cooler box, and of course the field station. We found the zip line that connects over to the sandbox area. There was some human foods and then a ton of crow feathers laying around. So you should be able to find 3 to 4 large crow feathers, which is going to net you anywhere from like 15 to 24 crow feather pieces, which is definitely going to help when you're building crow feather roofs. And then last but not least, we ran into black worker ants as well as a roly-poly. So after I finished recording earlier today, I went back and was checking around on the picnic table just to make sure I didn't miss anything. And lo and behold, look what I missed when I was walking by this spoon. This is the first paper plate that you come across after you pass the yellow lunchbox. There was actually a salt shard sitting on the ground. So there was at least 1 salt shard. Like I said, sometimes there's 1, sometimes there's 2. I'm not sure what the maximum is. And one other thing I wanted to definitely mention is, because I'm in creative, obviously the insects are not attacking me. These bees that are up here will be aggressive towards you, especially if you get close to them. So when you're crossing the beam over here, and when you're harvesting the gold milk molar that's over there, you need to be careful because they're going to attack you. So when you're getting that gold milk molar, I did it pretty casually because they're not going to attack me. In survival, they're definitely going to come after you, so you're going to want to make sure you harvest it quickly. You can hide behind it so they can't see you. It'll protect you a little bit, but definitely get in and out as quickly as possible. Otherwise, you're going to have a swarm of bees heading after you. So that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you hit the like button if you found it helpful. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, now's a great time to do so you don't miss any future grounded videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.